Welcome to hashtag Harness My Take. I am Jay Hochstetler, and I am joined by my co-hosts.
Oh, always Ryan Macedonio. Jay, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How about you?
Perfect. Listen, we got two special guests on the line. The show's growing, so we are joined by Canadian royalty right now. Are you excited? We're joined by Melissa Keith. Melissa Keith, say hello to everybody.
Hello, glad to be on the TrotCast, and we've also got someone else here, Broski.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
That's all you got. That's all you got for us, Broski?
Yeah.
That's it. Just
That's
what's
what
up.
we're going with.
All right. Perfect. So, Melissa, I don't know how. I don't know if you've watched. I don't know if you know how we run things here. There's no rules. Broski does whatever he wants. So, are you ready to jump into all the topics, Melissa? You're leading the way here.
I'll give it my best shot. I mean, I've seen your show. I've seen Harness My Take. I've seen Broski smoking and all, so I know it's like no holds barred, basically. And I got this with me as well. This is an O'Brien's program. I understand we were going to talk about the O'Briens.
Ooh.
Some of us were there. Canada's top award in racing.
She does our job better than us, Jay and Broski. So, first topic. Let's talk about the O'Briens. You were there. This is a Canada-centric show for anybody that doesn't realize what's going on. When you got one of the best Canada sports writers, you better talk about Canada. So lead us away on how you felt the O'Briens were and just some bullet points on the O'Briens, Melissa.
Well, all I can tell you, it was like huge attendance this year. They had it at the Mississauga Meadowvale Hilton, as they so often do most of the time in its recent history. It has been there. I'm not even sure about the numbers. It may have been a sellout because there were literally no seats empty on the night of. And it was hosted by Jason Portawando, and Ken Middleton came over from Woodbine, so that was pretty good hosts. And unlike the Dan Patch Awards, I'm not sure you guys know this, it's down to 2 finalists on the night of in each division. It's more like Oscars style, Grammy style. So you don't know. You know the top 2 in each division, but if you're announcing an award winner, you are ripping open that envelope, and you don't know what's in there. You don't know who won. Some divisions seem obvious, but there were a few surprises, and I gotta say, it leads to some excitement.
Jay, do you think that's a good way to do it, or do you like the Dan Patch style of announcing it beforehand?
No, I'm absolutely in favor of the way the O'Briens do it. You got to give people a reason to watch. Otherwise, it's really just for the people that are there. And we want our award show to be something that the whole industry looks forward to. So if there's a little bit of suspense, a little bit of, I want to see the shock on the people's faces when they win the award, that's what you need. You need to have a moment where it's, some divisions are obviously going to be obvious because you can just do the math. But like Melissa said, there's a few that were a little surprising.
Definitely,
and that's what the award shows are all about.
I mean, I was...
Broski, you...
Oh, sorry, cut you off there. I was just going to say...
No. Go ahead, Melissa. Finish. You're leading the way here. Finish.
I mean...
I'm the dope who
No,
interrupted.
Ryan, I'm the guest. I'm supposed to follow your lead, but I just had to say, I was announcing one of the least unexpected results of the night, 3-year-old trotting filly of the year. So... that was still, it was an exciting thing. The crowd was very, very into it. When you attend the O'Briens, there's always video production that is top-notch, showing a highlight reel of each finalist. So it's pretty exciting. And, 3-year-old trotting filly of the year, I don't think was any surprise to anybody, Ariana G. But one of the things I thought Jay might find interesting as well, the criteria for who makes eligibility. It's pretty strict. So in some divisions, 3-year-old male pacer, there were a few people commenting about, well, these aren't the top 3-year-old male pacers. Why are they the 2 finalists for the O'Brien 3-year-old male pacer of the year? But then it comes down to eligibility.
Jay, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's fun. It would be silly to have it just be overall. If a horse never raced in Canada and you're going to have Canadian awards, that wouldn't make much sense considering, we just would have to do North American awards which is not what it is. So that's totally fine with me. It's just some people don't quite understand that, and then they rant and rave before actually reading the rules.
It was a Brian Brown-centric
So
year for the 3-year-old male pacers, let's face it. So
Yeah,
they didn't really...
he gets enough.
Yeah, they didn't
He gets
qualify
enough.
up here, but there you go.
Broski, listen. While Jay and Melissa are talking serious, journalistic stuff, me and Broski, I know we're both thinking the same thing. It's an award show. Melissa, you were there. Give us some dirt. Who was out of control? Was there anybody falling down drunk? Was there any? What was the after party like? How late were you out? Were you on deadline that night? Come on, give us some good stuff, Melissa. That's why we got you on here.
That's the no comment stuff, isn't it? That's the off the record stuff. All I can say is Scott Coulter should be performing the anthem next year if he's not going to be doing eagle impressions at 2 a.m. or whatever it is.
Okay.
Scott Coulter.
He killed that. I
Man.
saw the video of that. He absolutely
just
killed that.
now ask him about the encore. I think that's where you'll find more of a story. What can I say? The rest I don't know. I'm not going to go there.
Listen, Broski, like a typical great journalist, she won't reveal her sources and will never cross the boundary. So that's why she where she is. So no comment on any of the other things. Broski, what do you think about the two different styles of awards presentations, top two versus knowing the award winners beforehand?
I agree with Jay. I think if you're gonna do it and have an award show like that, you might as well add some more excitement to it. I mean, it already seems to be. I mean, I didn't know anything about this maybe 3 weeks ago, and now it seems to be a very big celebration of horse racing in Canada. And we talked about the eligibilities the last time, and putting that strict regulations on it, saying you have to race in Canada, it just builds upon that more. It's about racing in Canada, and the award show seems to be a celebration of that. And to have the added excitement of doing the awards that night, I think that just makes your party more meaningful, rather than just having it simply be a party.
So, Melissa, Jay, did you have one last thing?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so Melissa, one question for you is, you went to the O'Brien Awards, and now the Dan Patch Awards are coming up this weekend. So we decided that the O'Briens are head and shoulders above the Dan Patch Awards.
Is that a challenge to Ushwa? Is that a challenge to the organizers to try to rival the immense gala that was the O'Briens? I mean, it's tough. Like there are different things. I don't know, Ryan. You had some good ideas, I think, about the Dan Patches, though, didn't you?
Well, and what I was going to say is we know a lot of the things that the O'Brien Awards do great and fantastic. What is one or two things that the Dan Patch Awards do better than the O'Brien Awards? And it's maybe something that you're looking forward to going to this weekend.
It's tough. I mean, the Dan Patches are different where it is really more North America wide, and this year it went very Midwest. There were not a huge number of Canadians who were, some of them got close to winning or were nominated, but overall we didn't fare as well as the previous year, the year of Marion Marauder. So, what do I like about the Dan Patch Awards? It was cool last year. Vegas was cool. Back to Orlando this year. I know there were some horse owners, I think, who preferred Orlando because it was closer to training centers or not requiring as much time away. The site is certainly beautiful. The Rose and Shingle Creek is like a very nice resort from everything I've heard. And the food last year was good. I mean, being at a table with Hollywood Hayden is good. Like, the conversation is never lacking. So, I don't know. It's hard to compare them. They're different animals. They really are. I think you've got to get up and see for yourself, Ryan. I mean, you just got to come up here. Jay, you're welcome next year. Come to the O'Briens. You'll see.
Okay, Jay, what do you think? Have you been to both awards, Jay?
I've been to the Dan Patch. I have not been to the O'Briens. I haven't raced in Canada enough to get myself an award up there.
Okay.
So that's unfortunate.
So what's
hey, you don't have to win to come. I didn't win anything this year. I just wanted to go. I mean, it's a party. It's worth going, and you meet cool people. Serge Savard was there. I mean, owning 2 of the winning horses, right? So you get to meet some royalty, right?
I will say that Dan Patch is going to have one thing very heads and shoulders above the O'Brien. That is
Shots fired.
Did I get it right? Woo!
they are going to have the jet flying, limousine riding,
Kiss stealing,
wheeling dealing,
son of a gun. Woo!
Ric Flair. Woo!
Yeah, beat that.
And that makes him
Eat
better.
that, Canada. That's what we got to say. We don't need anything else. We got Ric Flair, so eat it. How about that? That's what we say in America, Melissa. So all you Canadians up there, yeah, you don't got Ric Flair. And Ric Flair is better than Bret Hart, okay? I said it right now. Bret Hart isn't even top 10 all-time wrestlers, so Canada, eat it again.
All this wrestling talk.
Shots fired. Shots fired. All right, so enough. Broski, do you have any last things you want to say about all these award stuff?
No, I guess there was to the point we were talking about before the show started. I guess would there be an added bonus to having the award show? Like we were talking about, the award show will be held in Orlando. Would there be an added bonus of having it at a place that actually has a track?
Broski, do you think what's your favorite award show? Real quick.
I mean, I don't
general.
really like award shows.
You don't want. Oh, okay, fair enough. Listen, that speaks more than anything else. Is that I wonder how the younger generations treat these award ceremonies in general, the Oscars, the Grammys, the Tonys, all these. You know, I'm not so sure that they're as popular with the younger generation. So we're gonna have to, over the next couple of years, we're gonna have to keep making adjustments to these things to get a more younger crowd of these things. So enough about that. One more Canadian topic, Melissa. The National Driving Championship was announced, and they're going to do a bunch of regionals, regional qualifiers and things like that. So will you be going to these regional qualifiers? They're at Grand River and Century Downs and the Raceway at Western Fair and Kawartha. And then, of course, all the regional qualifiers will happen, and then it's looking for a shot at the 2019 World Driving Championship. So is there any specific thing you like about this setup, or will you be going to these awards, Melissa?
Absolutely love everything about it. I'm sure you've heard that this was not absolutely essential to have a Canadian rep go to the World Driving Championships. We should have, or not should, we could have gone with James McDonald. However, there is so much status associated with hosting an NDC leg at any of these tracks. It is such a big draw with the public. The drivers love it. People line up for autographs. T-shirts are sold. Everything. It's a big deal. Seriously. And some of these tracks are small. Some of them are struggling. If you've been reading about Kawartha Downs outside Peterborough, Ontario, I mean, they've been hit hard. There's been a casino opening in their vicinity. They're struggling. They've been fighting rumors of closure for the past few years. Truro Raceway almost closed, I believe it was 2013, 2014 now. I was there on the day that it was supposed to be a lockout to the horsemen being thrown off the property. So these tracks are on the comeback trail. I think the NDC, particularly appearing at Truro Raceway and Kawartha Downs, is a big win, no matter who wins.
Jay, before I let you talk, so they're not going. I was under the impression that Canada would get 2 reps because New Zealand at the last one, since Dexter won in, what was it, 2015, they got 2 reps for Down Under. So Canada's only getting 1? Shouldn't Canada get 2 in the 2019 WDC? Come on.
That may be the case. That may be the case. I'm not sure. It wasn't part of the media release, and I haven't heard if we are going to go that road. It's very possible. It would be nice to see. And you're right. That's what happened this year. Or
yeah, it should be James and then it should be James and then another Canadian representative, because that's a perk of winning the whole thing. So James should get to redo his defend his crown, and then another Canadian gets on in there. Jay, what do you think about this whole deal?
Yeah, I love the whole premise of it. I think it's great. Just the whole idea of the regionals really excites me. I really think a track, if they want to, can do a lot with it. And I really, I immediately kind of go to a wrestling point of view where I really think there should be a title belt given to the person that wins the national driving championship. And also just kind of like, get video things of like what this would mean to some of the guys, like the younger guys that, they probably drive, cheap horses all the time. And this is their chance to kind of get in the spotlight for once. It would mean a lot to them. And to get that on video and see see their actual emotions, if they would win it or if they had a chance to win it, I think that would be a great thing to really produce out to the media and show it to everybody.
Yeah, I think Melissa, you would agree. I think this driving championship for 2017 was the biggest spectacle that harness racing had, and it's always the biggest spectacle every 2 years, and we need to just keep funneling more towards it and having more regionals, having more things like that. What was your biggest take from this year, Melissa?
The wagering was driven majorly by this. Every track broke one record or another for wagering at the World Driving Championship. It was either single card handle at the track, all-time handle at the track. In Charlottetown, it was the all-time highest handle for a single card of any Atlantic Canadian race night. I mean, it was incredible. I love that as a bettor. I love that it attracts people, and it forces the drivers into pull all the stops, right? I mean, you're not going to be holding back. So it really is good, I think. These driving tournaments, even when they're not scheduled. When Jody Jamieson came down to Truro Raceway last year and is going head-to-head with Mark Campbell, turning almost every race on the card into a two-man driving tournament. That kind of thing is exciting, right? That's what the fans like.
Yeah, it's fun. Broski, what do you think about you? Listen, you were there. I'm working with Broski. You saw me leave, come back, all this stuff. What was your kind of did my aura feed off of that, and what'd you think of the whole World Driving Championship and the National Driving Championship in Canada?
It sounds like some great events. Anytime you make some events that have some serious meaning to them, obviously I feel like you're going to get more out of the people who compete. And in return, you're going to get a better entertainment product. So more people are going to want to come out because they perceive that it's more serious because it means something. There's an award attached to it. It gives a chance for, like Jay was saying, young drivers to get an accolade to attach to their names. So it just helps them develop in the sport. And it's just a good way to further promote the sport overall. So seems like some good events.
Perfect. So, listen, I know we had a couple of other harness racing topics, but you know what? It's all Canada. So that's it. We're cutting off harness racing from there. Now let's get into some shenanigans. You ready, Melissa?
Shenanigans.
Are you ready?
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
You ready?
Can I ever be ready for that?
Are you ready? First thing. All right. I did not send this to Melissa in our pre-production. Yes, for everybody at home, we have pre-production meetings. They may only be 3 minutes long, but whatever. It's my show. I'll produce it however I want. So listen, I found this one thing. It's called the Apology Act. Okay? And in this act, an apology, this is in Canada. This is in the bylaws in Canada. And I want to know if Melissa knows this. That an apology means an expression of sympathy or regret, a statement that one is sorry, or any other words or actions indicating contrition or commiseration. But a court, if you apologize and say you're sorry, it does not constitute an express or implied admission of fault or liability by the person in connection with that matter. So that means, Melissa, if I get into a car accident with you and we're both apologizing to each other, oh, sorry, that doesn't mean that anybody's at fault. I find that fascinating because in America, if I hit you and I say anything can be used against you in the court of law. Canada has said no. You can apologize. You can say you're sorry, and it's not an admission of guilt. It is in the bylaws. It's my favorite Canadian, piece of law ever put in the act. Melissa, give me your comment.
I just learned something. Did that come up on the WDC party bus or something? Or
no. It just it's just funny Canadian laws, and it's one of the things I found. So I found that that was fantastic. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, Canadians are very polite and like to say sorry to a lot of each other, and Americans, we like to make obscene gestures at each other when something happens on the road. So, just different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, we're
That's how it
jerks,
goes.
basically.
So is that happening at the Dan Patches? Obscene gestures, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Ric Flair's there.
Oh yeah. Woo! Yeah. They'll be strutting and whatever else going on. So what? One other thing, Jay. This is your topic. You want to talk about what happened last night at the NBA All-Star game?
So basically, I love the NBA and everything about it, but there was something for even people that don't like the NBA last night. Well-known recording artist Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas and her own thing, she decided to sing the national anthem, and I believe every deceased U.S. president rolled over in their grave listening to the rendition that she performed last night. It was basically before the national anthem, they had Kevin Hart do a bunch of stuff that was just the most corny, awful stuff you ever watched in your life. And I was like, well, it can't get worse from there. And it did a lot. And I immediately tweeted, I was like, well, nothing can get worse than the Kevin Hart stuff. And then Fergie started singing out, and I was like, Fergie, hold my beer. Because she just, you have to listen to it to really understand. Like, when I say it's the worst national anthem of all time, I'm not lying. It is absolutely the worst national anthem of all time.
The three of us didn't see it. Melissa, should we volunteer Scott to do the national anthem?
Absolutely. Scott would kill that. That's a challenge for either next year, I think. O'Brien's or maybe even the Dan Patch Awards. I'd love to see the Desperado tackle the national anthems.
Marissa, do you have any hidden musical talent, or are you just straight writing? You're like the Shakespeare of writing. Is that safe to say?
No.
No.
That would be Mr. Briggs. You've got me mixed up with someone else in the chapter.
Okay.
We've got a lot of talent up here. What can I say? It's not, you're not looking at it right now. I mean, I would say that the chapter's got a lot of good people. Ushwa Canada's got some very, very good talent.
Well, how do you describe your writing style then? What mystical what artist would describe your writing style? If you're not just going Shakespeare, are you going more technical, like Neil Peart in Rush, Canadian band? My favorite Canadian, my favorite rock band is Canadian, so I got some love for Canadians up there.
So I've got to choose between Rush or Shakespeare. I think I'm somewhere in between. Not really sure where you're going with that. I'd aspire to Dave Briggs. How's that?
Fair enough.
That number of Herbie Awards, taking them both this year. I mean, that's good. Going in the Hall of Fame. That's good.
Fair enough.
I'll aspire to that. As far as mentors go, there was a fellow named Doug Harkness who years ago. Great journalist, and jogging a horse one day, he decided he wanted to start a harness racing newspaper. That is still around. That is Atlantic Post Calls. Who's the editor? Freddie McDonald, dad of a bunch of good drivers who I'm sure you all know. So, Atlantic Post Calls and Doug Harkness. I've been reading that since I was a kid. It's great to write for. Cool people write for it. There you go. That's what I aspire to, Doug Harkness.
Do you know what Melissa just did there, Jay? She just did the TrotCast shameless self-promotion, and I love it. That's what she's learning. She is learning.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. I love shameless self-promotion. Melissa, is there anything else you want to say? I think we all enjoyed this episode of #HarnessMyTake. I'm assuming that you'll be on at some other point down the road because you thoroughly enjoyed being with us, right?
It's been a blast ever since you invited me, and I was on a train drinking wine going to the O'Briens, and I get this direct message, and it's like, what? Why? Okay, sure, I'll do that. Why not? So here I am. It was fun. It was good, yeah. Sure.
Perfect.
I'll do it again.
So there we go. Broski, any last words? I did. Kate is watching Altered Carbon. I started to watch Peaky Blinders as last week's episode. Jay, Thomas Shelby's pretty good, but he's still not as good as Lauren Malvo.
Well, we already know that your opinions are very wrong, Ryan. We went through this last week, so I frankly just don't give a damn.
Okay. Last thing, Broski, do you have any last?
Well, I guess
last words.
We should ask Melissa if she's into hockey, because it's a Canada-themed show.
Yeah, more as a spectator. I mean, I'm not working in hockey. I did work at the World Juniors one year, but that was ages ago, so...
You don't have a... Sure. You don't have a particular team you follow? Oh, okay. All right. No, that's fine. Down here in New York, I mean, you can see it right behind me. It's the Rangers, so we're not doing so hot this year. So it is what it is.
All right, so here's how we're gonna end this. We're gonna give everybody their shameless self promotion. Well, Broski doesn't have any, right? Are we working on getting a Twitter account, Broski, or no? Maybe. Okay. So Broski's done. Jay, give your shameless self promotion and how everybody can find you.
I am Jay Hoxeller. You can always find me on Twitter at JD Harness.
Okay. So there we go. I'm Ryan Macedonio. Everything is at TrotCast. You can find everything at trotcast.com. Now, Melissa, this is the final question. Jay, you're not allowed to answer it or butt in. She gets the last word. Melissa, is a hot dog a sandwich? Is a wrap a sandwich? Yeah, suck it, Jay. Is a hamburger a sandwich?
Oh, is a burrito a sandwich?
Jay. Yeah, I've muted you. Jay is muted. Jay, taking it too far. All right, fair enough. So
you agree that a burrito is not a sandwich?
Oh,
is an ice cream sandwich a sandwich?
Says
it's a sandwich. It says sandwich. Is a hot open turkey sandwich a sandwich, Melissa? I say no. I am Jay.
Yes.
Jay is a structural Nazi when it comes to sandwiches. I say I'm open. I'm open to all this stuff. So hot open turkey sandwich or no? Okay, yeah, Jay, suck it. That's pretty.
Why am I still
Why
on the
are
show?
you
I don't understand.
still on the show? Last word, and then I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna cut everybody off. A Pop-Tart is a sandwich.